Hi, everybody. I'm James, and welcome back to Storytime with James. Make sure you like, subscribe, and leave me a comment if you like. All right. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. I know a lot of you are viewing this channel now, but look at your button and see if it says subscribed. Okay, instead of subscribe, subscribe. Duh. If it says subscribed, then you good. It won't cost you nothing. All right. This one is called Under the House. Yeah. Yes. Under the House. Yeah. Look, it was around 2010 when I stayed in this house. I stayed in this house and I loved it. I loved that house. It had two bedrooms, a kitchen, a front room, and a bathroom. That's it. And a huge backyard. It was a very nice house. It had a huge backyard. The backyard reach. I used to host a lot of barbecues back there. I used to do barbecues at least 2 or 3 times a year. And me and the family would be back there and we would barbecue, we laugh and joke and everything. It was real fun. Yes, it was real great. But sooner or later, then a couple it was fine for the first couple of years and stuff like that. But all good things must come to an end. And in 2014, it got really cold outside. Yes, it got really cold outside. Like 0 degrees. It was 0 degrees. And they had many advisories on the television telling people to drip their faucets and everything like that. And which I did. Anyway, that night when I came home, it wasn't that late. It was like about 6 o'clock, 6 or 7 o'clock, but it was dark already because it gets dark in the winter time. So it was dark and it was bone freezing. So when I got out the car, I slipped a little bit. And I looked down and I saw water coming from up under the house. And I couldn't believe how's water coming from up under the house. It was going down the driveway and everything, and it was nothing but ice on the driveway. So, so when I saw that, I went in the house and looked, and nothing was on, but I can hear water. Shh, I can hear water pouring from up under the house. So I went back out. So I knew what I had to do. I knew I had to shut the main water valve off. So I shut the water off from the meter. So I went and got my meter wrench. You know, yeah, like that. I had to get my meter wrench, and then I turned the water off and stuff. And then I skedaddled back in the house because man, it was so cold that you couldn't stay out there that long. So and I can imagine what under the house looked like. So uh, after that, I went in the house and I had to regroup. So I start calling to different companies who repaired water faucets and stuff like that. Up under the house and stuff like that. Of course, they were all closed. They were all closed, and the ones that did answer charged me so much. They charged me over the amount. So they want like $2,000 or $3,000 to go up under the house. So man, I was in a bad way. The last person I called the last person. They said, "Hey, it's gonna be $3,000, for us to come out because it's cold out there. It was below zero, and that wasn't with the wind chill factor. So it was like 17 below, below zero, and minus 15 degrees or something, So at that time, man, I didn't know what to do. So the only thing I can do, I thought about was let me check. I know I can fix the pipe. If I can get to it, I can fix it. So I went back out and took my meter wrench and turned the water back on, and I can hear the water coming out. And I went to the access hole up under the house to get up under the house. I took the panel off and I looked under there. Took my flashlight, looked under there, and I saw water shooting out from way back there. Why did it have to be the pipe way back there? So I turned the water back off. I went back in, and then I said, "Man, I get the man. It's wet up under there. It was nothing but water. I thought it was like a pool up under there." So I said, "Man, I don't know how I'm gonna do this, man." So I prepared a suit out of garbage bags. So I took a garbage bag, put it on my arm, and put tape around here. Then I took the other part, tore a hole in there, slid my head over it, put that down here, and then taped it together to there. Then taped another arm to the inside part. So I had the whole thing. Then I had to prepare some for my legs, and then I had to make sure I dressed in layers. So put a long underwear on, some jogging pants, and some jeans, and some waterproof boots. So after that, I went out there, and man, I had to get down there, man. I didn't want to do it, but this is out of necessity. You got to do what you got to do. So it was too low. It was about that low. So if I would set up, if I would push my head up, I could only get this high. My head would. That's how as I can lift my head up. So it was real close to the ground. So I knew I couldn't crawl in like like this. So I had to get on my back. So and water was up to like right here. Like right here. So I just, oh man. And the water was cold and I had to go backwards, go backwards, go backwards, go backwards. And it took me like maybe 5 minutes to get to the pipe. So I got to the pipe and I tried to put tape around there, just for temporarily, but it was coming right out. It was every time I tried to turn the water on, water comes right out. So I guess it was too much pressure in there. So I figured out I had to go to the hardware store. So I went to Home Depot, which is my store, Home Depot. I went to Home Depot and I got some quick connects. Those quick connects are good, especially if you got PVC pipes. You got PVC pipes. The quick connects are good. So I got some quick connects, and I got some a pipe cutter. Because I didn't want to. I could have cut it with a saw, but I just got the pipe cutter because it's easy. Because you put it on there and then you can just turn it around and then it just cut it right in a perfect circle. Cut it perfect. So I got those and I came back. I went inside and warmed up a bit. Then I put my suit back on, put that plastic suit back on, and crawl up on this. Crawl. I had to go like this on my back. So once I got to it, then my feet were cold, real cold, for some reason, and my hands were cold because I had gloves on, but I had to keep pulling them off to really feel the pipe. So after that, I cut the pipe, in two. Cut it in two and cut it even, cause you know where it busted, it was like a line, something like that. So I had to cut all that piece out, and then I put the quick connect, put the one end on here, and put the other one on this part. Click them together, and hope for the best. After that, I got out. I had to turn the water back on, but I was so cold that, man, I would have died up under there. I would have died up under there if I wouldn't have came out of there when I did. So I came out from under there, and I got back in the house, and I was freezing to death, man, freezing to death. But then I knew I had to try the water. I had to try it. So after I warmed up a bit, I went back out and turned the water, but I didn't turn it to full blast. I just turned it a little, and water started coming through. And then I went back and I looked under there, had my flashlight, looked up under there, and no drips, no drips, no drips at all. So after that, man, I was cool. Then I turned it up just a little bit, just turned the pressure up just a little bit, and looked under there again, no drips. So that was it. I went in, turned the hot water on and everything like that. Everything was cool. So, man, I'm telling you, man, look, y'all can. It's just a lot of things you can do yourself. It may be a dirty job, but somebody's got to do it. Somebody's got to do it. Either you're gonna spend your savings on getting it repaired, or you can get under there and do it yourself. It's like I went up under there and I repaired it myself. And that happened to me many a times, many times, many times. I've repaired stuff myself, you know. So it pays to know, have a little knowledge of mechanics, a little knowledge, because that could have easily I could have easily been out of $3,000 or $2,000. It's crazy because didn't nobody want to come out to do that in that weather. Or I could have waited until the weather warmed up a bit, which was like about 4 days from then. It was 4 days before the weather broke, before the weather came up to like 30 degrees or something. Man, that's crazy, man. But I got up on there and I fixed that immediately. I jumped right on top of it and fixed it. So, mm. Well, that's the things you got to go through. That's what you got to go through. But I've been through that with hot water tanks and with faucets, with toilets, and toilets leaking and stuff like that. I had to take a whole toilet up and put it back, put another wax ring on it and stuff like that. I had to do all of that. But you got to have knowledge to it. Just like when if you got a car, you got to have some knowledge. When you got a house, you need some knowledge on repairing stuff. Unless you're gonna pay people every time to come pick you, and they know out of you, they know when you really need it, they can charge you what they want. They can charge you what they want. So I'm telling you, do it yourself. It'll save you money and it'll be quicker. All right. Okay, you guys, make sure you like, subscribe, and leave me a comment if you like. And hit that bell notification. Hit the bell notification so that you know every time I drop another video. All right. And share, share, share. Share my videos with your family. Share my videos with your friends. Share my videos with your loved ones. And even share it with your enemies. Peace. Adios. Salamat. Subscribe.